What's up, YouTube? We're here at the Ovox, the Ovox Gym and Training Center here in Morganville, New Jersey. It's your boy Neil, and we got a glute, hamstring, inner thigh focused leg workout with Christina and Melanie. As you can see, Christina here is drinking her Innova Farm in Rage, which you can find at my site, www.brainandbodysupplementation.com. Link to that will be included in the description below. Lots more content about the products that I have coming later. So without further ado, we'll get right into it. Now, with my glute hamstring focus workouts, I actually really like to start with just a pre-exhaust to warm up. Pre-exhaust the quads, get them firing, just so that they're disengaged for the rest of the workout. And so what I'm starting with is a rep range of about 12 to 15, and if we even need to go higher than that, I'll go higher than that, up to 20. Really just start with a lot of volume, get as many contractions in there as possible, and really just get the knee joint lubricated as well. So everything is slow and controlled. 3 seconds on the way up, 3 seconds on the way down is what I'm having these two ladies do. And it's like a pendulum, so there's no pause at the top, no pause at the bottom, just a full range of motion, stretching of the quads. And so what I'm doing is I'm actually using my hand and touching their feet exactly where I want them to either extend or to flex. So we started with 3 sets of that, and by the end of it, they were already feeling it. They were already definitely feeling their legs firing, which is great, because you know what, once the quads are fatigued, then the body will inevitably put the load on the posterior chain, which means you'll inevitably just put the load on your glutes and hamstrings, which is exactly what we want here. So after our warm-up, we moved over to our sumo deadlifts, supersetted them with our static lunges. We went 12 reps of the sumo deadlift, and then 12 reps of the static lunges, 6 on each leg, 6 with the right leg forward and 6 with the left leg forward. And so with the sumo deadlift, it was interesting because for Christina, her mobility was great. She was a gymnast, formerly that's her background, and so coming into this, getting deep into any range of motion really wasn't all that difficult for her. Now, with Mel is a little bit tighter. Mel's a beast when it comes to her strength. Now, she trains with a lot of males, and you know, with us males, there's always ego, which of course we should leave at the door, but sometimes it's hard to do. So she's used to pounding heavy fucking weight. She's a beast, but for her, she kind of throws the weight around a little bit more. There's a little bit less control. And so what I was trying to stress, because this is more of a bodybuilding style workout, I know there's a stigma against bodybuilding. All right, fine, we'll call it target training, whatever the heck you want to call it. But yeah, so what I really just wanted to stress a few things. Focus on making a mind-muscle connection. Focus on going slow. Focus on keeping constant tension. But with that said, what I see a lot of times is when people start to do what they think is a bodybuilding style workout, they shorten their range of motion. No, we want full extension and full flexion of the muscle group that you're trying to target. So same principle as with the leg extensions, 3 seconds on the way up, 3 seconds on the way down. And so by the second or third set, both of them were able to really adjust beautifully well, which was really nice to see. Adaptability in both of them. So that was good. That was definitely a good thing to start out with, and everything was already fine. They were already gassed at this point. But so we did 3 supersets rather of that. So we moved on. We did our wide stance leg press with an external rotation in the ankles, supersetted with our plie squats. So really, this is really hitting the inner. Now, Melanie, of course, is a little taller than Christina, actually quite a bit taller than Christina. So her legs were, of course, higher than Christina's on the leg press. But what you really want to do is you want to start at a point where your torso would be at a 90-degree angle to your legs. And so, like I said before, control the whole time. 3 seconds on the way down, 3 seconds on the way up, and getting really deep. It's almost uncomfortably deep. And so you can see Christina's kind of pooped there. definitely feeling that. And so what I notice a lot of times too with bodybuilding is bodybuilding style workout, bodybuilding style training is people will be explosive on the concentric part of the movement, the part of the movement where they're contracting it. So, for example, with the leg press, on the way up, that's the concentric part, and then when you're bringing the weight down and absorbing the weight, that's the eccentric. People tend to go very explosively on the concentric and then control the eccentric. That's not necessarily wrong. It's just right now we're training in a different way where everything is controlled. You know, and I train both ways, where my eccentric and my concentric is controlled both ways, or sometimes I'll do it where I'm more explosive at it when I contract the muscle, and then when I absorb the load, I'm slower. So, you know, like I said, we're just kind of using that style and keeping it consistent throughout the workout. So we did, once again, 3 supersets of 12 and 12. So the volume was pretty high, because you're talking about 24 reps in a condensed period of time, and to keep them in glycolysis, meaning to have them utilizing glycogen as an energy source, we kept the set time to about 1:20 or so, you know, roughly about that. So it was still anaerobic. We didn't get into, you know, a 4-minute set where they're now huffing and puffing. But, you know, the set duration was long, so it was painful. But they both endured like champs. So another point that I want to make, it's very crucial with the plie squats to maximize the effectiveness, to get the most out of it, that you drop your butt back from your hips. As you can see, Mel just did there, and now Christina's doing. It's really important to keep the load on the heels, drop the glutes back. So after that, we really started to isolate. So now, no supersets, and we just moved over to our next movement, which was our glute kickback. Now, we have fantastic machines at Ovox. We got set time counters as well as rest time counters, which was nice. We were able to keep everything consistent. And so we did something interesting here. We actually increased our reps per set. So while the girls were relatively fresh, and when I say relatively fresh, I mean fresh to the exercise, they were certainly gassed, you know, relative to the entire workout, being that there was quite a bit of blood volume in their legs due to the other exercises before. But yeah, so we started a set of 8 with a little bit heavier weight. Then we dropped it to a lower weight, and we went to a set of 12. And then furthermore, we dropped it again to a lower weight, and we did a set of 15. Now, I was really making sure to stress that they should keep the weight on their heels. And ladies, whenever you do a kickback, whenever you do a squat, you know, you really want to make sure to hit the posterior chain, which means the rear chain of muscles, to keep your weight on your heels. Okay, once the weight goes onto the toes, you're going to start engaging the quads. You know, your body's going to start to lean forward as opposed to dropping back. But yeah, so weight stayed on the heels, and we really just drove full range of motion, all the way forward, all the way back, with full control. No pause at the end, no pause at the beginning of the motion, full extension and flexion of the knee, and really good. It was really good. Now, one thing I noticed with the two of them is that they both had a tighter right hip, stronger right side. They were both dominant on the right side, so I actually had to kind of push their knee in a little bit. And they both said, "Oh, I feel more on my gluteus medius rather than my maximus," or in their terms, the outside of my glutes. And that's because of that tightness. So just be mindful if you have to tuck your knee in, you know, just to keep everything aligned. That may be a technique that you want to employ. So now to torture them. Oh, we got the turf at the Vox. We went upstairs. We trained like athletes, baby. So we did some tire pushes. Now, what I really stress is just make sure that you use long strides. Long strides. And now, once the glycogen is depleted from the workout, we're getting the heart rate up. And yeah, we're burning the legs out. So we did 2 rounds of this, 180-pound tire, okay? 40 feet there, 40 feet back, okay? Very little rest. While Christina went, Melanie rested. Then Melanie went, Christina rested. And then Christina went, Melanie rested. And then Melanie went again. So it was just back to back to back to back. 80 feet of pushing a 180-pound tire, not easy, not easy. Kept their spines neutral, kept their back nice and straight, no mountains as I call them, and savagery. So we ended with that, and they were tanked. So I'm recording this a couple days later, 3 days later, and they're still complaining to me how sore they are. So, this leg workout definitely killed them. We used multiple energy systems, ATP, we used glycogen, we got the heart rate up, and, we got them to use a lot of oxygen as well. They're breathing heavy, so it was a nice cardiovascular workout for them as well. Yeah, their butts were fried, their glutes and hamstrings were fried, their inner thighs were fried, and even their quads, they were firing. So great job by these two ladies, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned a lot. And there you see me having a little fun pushing that tire with a little bit more pace. Clearly, I was a little fresher than they were. Um, but yeah. Oh, and of course, got to end with your posing, baby. Got to end with the posing. So just stop playing around with the side chest there, and I will be competing actually, Classic Physique John Kemper Classic on April 1st. But great job to these ladies. I want to thank my girlfriend for the recording. And so thanks a lot for watching. Please be sure to subscribe. Please subscribe. Peace.